Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Eddie here, and got a little project today that is linked to my previous video, which was gel printing with my friend and fellow designer Paulla new stencil marble run. So I'm going to use those prints, or some of them, in this project today, and this is the project I'm going to show you. I spent all weekend teaching myself how to do this. This is a stepper box. I'm sure you've seen them out there, or seen a video or something, but I literally just taught myself how to do this, and I'm sure there's other people who don't know how to do it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. This is a piece of Bristol board, Bristol paper, 300 GSM. It's a good weight for this project. The paper, the boxes are made from a scrapbook paper, and so are the panel sheets. This is all from a scrapbook, you know, those big 12 by 12 pads. And then there's did the lid as well in the Bristol paper. Now, the reason I used Bristol paper is because the measurement for the wrapper, meaning this outer part right there, is it has to be 6 by 11 and 14, 11 and a quarter inches. I can't even read my own writing. 11 and a quarter inches, so that you get a nice, clean, flush, you know, line there. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of paper that measures over 11 inches. So what I'm going to show you on some, what is this? This is 110 pound cardstock in black. And let me open this, I will tell you. So this is 11 inches across. So it was originally legal size, 8.5 by 11 by 6 inches. So that's what you want for the wrapper. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move this to the side just for a few moments. I'm gonna get started here. So on your scoreboard, now, I will explain too, if you only have a scoreboard like this that only goes to 6 1/8, we can certainly, I'm going to show you how to reverse that so you can do the length of this longer piece. Let me clean my glasses because they're smudgy. All right, so the first score you're going to make is at 2 1/4 inches. Check the camera out. Pull this down a little bit more so you can see. 2 1/4 inches. That's the first score mark. The second score mark is 4.5 inches. And then we have our third one is 6 3/4. So 6 3/4 is basically, and then 9 inches. Those are just these numbers, but in reverse. So, but what I'm gonna do, because this is gonna be a 1/4 inch short, so I'm going to make sure that each section here is 2 1/4 inches wide. That's essentially the measurement for each panel, 2 1/4 inches wide. So your last one is gonna be 2 inches, all right? So I'm gonna score this at 2 inches. And then here we have 1, 2 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'll repeat that. So your first two score marks at 2 1/4 inch, 4.5 inches. The next one, if you have a full size scoreboard, the next one will be 6 3/4 and 9 inches. And again, because my paper is only 11 inches long, not the 11 1/4 that the original instructions call for, I'm making up for that by, let's see, the last mark on mine is at 9. Okay, but remember that last, trucks are flying by today and it's a holiday. It should be nice and quiet. This last panel is going to be only 2 inches, so it's not going to be flush with the other side here. It's going to have a little gap. And where is the other one I made? This one is a little wonkier than this one here. As you can see, that's more of my, because I was learning still. But if you can see here, so this is what we're going to have is a 1/4 inch showing. But with the black cardstock and the prints I chose, I think that'll be fine. It won't look, it'll look better than that. And this is one I made as well. But I think, because this is a cardstock that I use, and I think the cardstock was just too thick. But there we have it. That's that one, and this lid. And my lid too was a little wonky, but once you get the hang of the fold for the boxes and the lid, it's pretty easy going after that. All right, so we have our panel, or our wrapper, as they call it in the biz. So I'm gonna start here. And then score these. This one here, my bone folder's better. And then we're gonna score there. And then the last score here. So this is gonna close like this, and you see there's a gap there, but it's not going to be as noticeable as if we were using the white base. But so I think we're going to make it work and make it look great. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to show you what papers I've chosen for the inside and the outside. So for the papers to fit these panels, you're going to need 2 sets of 5 pieces each, and the sizes are 2 inch by 5 3/4 inches. 2 inch by 5 3/4 inches. And I'll put these measurements in the description box of the video as well, so you can see them there clearly. I did my best to write this out clearly for you. Now we're gonna have to make adjustments, because I cut these all 2 and 5 3/4. But remember, this first panel, this panel here is shorter, so we'll do a little trimming on the last piece that goes there. And so this is the outside, this is the inside. Let's go ahead and do the inside ones. And I think I want this as, yeah, I want my box, I believe, so like that. Do I want it like that? Yes, I want it like that. All right, let's make sure. Well, actually what we can do is we can flip this. I put the 2 inch one there, and so that way it won't show. See, I'm still learning, guys, still learning. Let's try it that way. So if we open it this way, this is our inside. And these out. Make sure I like them where they are. Okay, I like that. That's set up. And for this one, where is it? This one here. I need to take a 1/4 inch off the end so it fits nicely within the panel and you have that black border. So where do I want to cut it from? I think that side, okay. So cut it down to 1 3/4 inches. All right, that's the inside. Pretty easy to do. All right. Very fun. And if you watch the previous video, all I did to this print was go in with some a gold pen. And where's my gold pen? I literally just had it. Here it is. It's a gold pen I got off the line. It is Artistro extra fine tip. They come 2 in a box. Yeah, so I just did some outlining with the gold pen. And that was it. Now for the front. Or the outside. I'm gonna use these. This is the print that had the gold leafing in it, and the one that I did marks on with the white acrylic pen. So I'm gonna lay them out. I think I might have messed up the order because I had them in a certain order so they'd kind of line up. Yes. Yes. Here we go. And then, is this my smaller one? All right, so this one needs that 1/4 inch taken off. Oops. There it goes. Here it is. Oh, I don't want to lose that pin. The pin for my glitter glue. To remind myself, make sure you wear your glasses today because these numbers are tiny and you can't see them. And then I mess up the cutting and it all goes to you know what. All right. All right, there you have it. So we've created our panel. Wait, I thought we were going to go this way. Yeah. Actually, we could do that, but I think it's better this way because at least it's better supported for when it's closed. Put the lid on. So that's actually not bad at all. Okay. And the next thing is I'm gonna show you. Let's go ahead and do the lid. And do that. So the lid, I'm using the same type of paper, the black cardstock. And for the lid, you need a 6.5 by 6.5 inch square. Easy peasy, all right? And then for the accent pieces or the printed pieces, you need 2 1x1s or 2x2 for the top, and then 1 by 2 1/4 for the sides. Although I may have to trim them down. I think I cut them a little big, but after we build the box, we'll worry about that. So those are for the lid. All right, I'm gonna just move that out my way for a little bit. All right, so you're gonna take your square, turn it at an angle like this, and you want to fold it corner to corner, best you can. And make sure you crease that well. And then you're going to fold it the other way. Again, corner to corner. Take your time because it's important to get these folds right so that it all comes together well. There we go. Creased. Okay, so little glue bits coming off my phalanges. Okay, so you've got your first 2 folds, right? So your next fold is going to be, you're going to take each of these 4 points and fold them into the center. Okay. Actually, I like to do each end, north, south, and then do east and west together. Line it up. It may not line up exactly perfectly along the edges, but again, with the black paper, you're not going to notice. And because this is going to be the inside, you can always put something on the inside. Did I do that here? Yes. See, on the inside here, you can't see the fold because I used another piece of scrapbook paper to line the bottom of the box. Okay. So you've got those folds. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this point here and you're going to fold it back up and then fold that up to the center as well. And then crease that. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. The first one. Turn it a quarter. And then again, fold up that flap you already did. And then fold up, fold that in half, bring it to the center. Okay, and then just continue around until all 4 sides have been done in this fashion. All right, so there you have all the folds. And remember, this is the bottom of your box, right? Or the lid. This is the lid we're doing. There's 4 squares there. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is you're gonna take your scissors and you're gonna cut up from this square to this square. And on this side, from this square to this square. And then on the opposite side, you're gonna do the same thing. So let me get smaller scissors here. There we go. So from here, along the score line, from there to there. And on this side, it's the same thing. Chart your paper and repeat it on the opposite end. All right, so there you go. So when these are folded in, you see that's going to build these 2 sides, and then these 2 bits are going to come in here. Okay. Now, I've seen where people trim this bit off, these tips off on each side. I don't think it's necessary, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I do this. All right, so let's start gluing. You are going to glue 1, 2, the first 2 rows here. So this bit right here. Bring that in thusly. Just give it a nice little extra creasing there. Same for the sides. So flip those over, crease them again. Let's glue this side. It lines up perfectly. And let's give this a nice little extra fold, extra creasy. All right, so we've got these 2 sides done. Next thing you want to do is you're going to take your 2 flaps here on one end, put a little bit of glue right here, just to hold it in place until you do the next step. Okay. Come on, glue. All right, the next step is you're going to glue this portion here over here. And what I like to do, I turn it over Make sure everything's nice and flat and pushed up against the edge. So there you have one side done. And again, take your time. If you're not 100% sure, before you start putting the glue down, just fold it up as best you can and make sure everything is, you know, how you want it to be, so you don't waste any paper. Trust me, I wasted a little bit learning this or teaching myself this. Now, I could understand why some people would want to cut the tips off here, but if you fold this correctly, you shouldn't have to worry about that. It should all line up. Okay. So again, just a little dab will do you here. And then again, glue here and here. So you want to push here, push it away from you to make sure it all sits flat. This is glitter glue. It will dry nice and clear, so I'm not too worried about that. So there you have your lid. This should fit well, snug. You don't want it loosey-goosey. Look at that, it fits wonderfully on there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add my decorations. All right, there we have our lid. Beautiful. All right, so let's let that dry. Next, let's turn our attention to the individual boxes. And it's pretty much the same folding technique you used for the lid. But for this, for these the boxes that go inside, I am going to use gel prints. So I've chosen these. So I have, now, this is funny what I did here because I wanted to use more of this print, but it's only on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So what I did is I took my 6 by 6 and then I used the other bits to create this using some washi tape. So there, I've got 2 of those, and this is another print from, I think this is a brayer off from a long time ago. And this is actually a print I did with my nephew. And the gold is exactly the same gold I used on this print here. Okay, so let me show you one more time how to fold these. So, end to end, corner to corner. This did not work. That's okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. And then we're going to go again this way. Again, take each point to the center. something was off in the cut, so I'm just going to do my best to get this one right. And then can adjust it later as I'm folding it. And just continue along. Make sure. That's why I say take your time with this, because you can adjust as you go. You know, if your fold was a little off or whatever, just, you know, adjust as you go. That's why I'm taking my time. I'm not trying to rush it. Good. All right, there we go. So, such a cool print. And you're gonna take and you're gonna cut up score line here. That's a little off, Eddie. There we go, that's okay. No problemo there. And then we have this side. Same on the opposite side. Do the same thing over here. Just trim a little of that off so I know it's going to get in the way later. All right. So there we have that. So let's start to glue. So you're going to want to glue just this top 2 rows here. Well, there's the issue again. And that is the clogged nozzle. That should do it. It shouldn't be clogged. I washed it out yesterday. Pesky bottle. There's something in there. There we go. Like that. Right to the center. Smooth that out. Same on the opposite end. That to the center. And then smooth it out nicely. Let's bring up those edges and give them a nice little extra crease. There's some glue missing there, I think. There we go. Easy peasy. Just want to reestablish those creases so that everything goes smoothly when we put it together. No, I ripped it. Oh, I thought I was taking this little piece off. No worries. All right, so now what you're gonna do is you take your 2 points, line them up. I think that's good. Put a little bit of glue here to hold this temporarily while you make sure this is all nice and straight. That's good. And then you're gonna glue these top 2 rows. And you're gonna fold over and tuck it in, and then push that away from you, that edge, so that you get a nice contact, the glue and the other with the surfaces. All right, one side, 2 sides. Now see here, this is where I need to trim that little bit off there. All right. And then you're gonna fold this over. Now, there is some white showing here, so I can come back in with more of this print. I think I have a little bit more, and just cover that in. But there you go. I'm going to quickly turn these into boxes. So I've got my 4 boxes ready for the inside. And as you can see here, I still need to add a little patch in there. No worries. Now, the one thing I did not explain properly is, so the measurement for the lid is 6.5 by 6.5 square inches. And for the boxes, it's 6 by 6. Okay, but the folding is the same. It's just a 1/2 inch shorter on all sides. Okay, so let's get this part here. And we said this one was going to close like that. So I kind of want my first box here, and then they go up. Obviously, a box here is not going to fit, so we're not going to do that. But I find it helps when you lay it out like this, and you can kind of, line them up better. All right, so you want to take and glue one box here, but you don't want to do it all the way to the bottom. You want to give it a little bit of space, so maybe 1/8 of an inch up from there. So what side do I want to show here? Kind of like that. So I'm going to add glue to this side here. And so I'm going to go up about this much. And do my best to center it. A little crooked, that's okay. All right, that just needs a little better folding. Kind of like just shaped. So there you have the first box. So let's figure out the lineup for the next ones. So maybe we'll do one of these. And we'll show this side. All right, and then this one, beautiful, can go here. And then our last one will go over here. And what side do I want? I want that side to show. And also I find that if I glue the first and then the last, it's easier to space out the middle two. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And again, you don't want it all the way up to the edge. You want to bring it down just a little bit. Which side? Yeah. No, I want that side showing. Okay. There we go. And again, a little bit lower. And just make sure you give it a nice press so everything is glued and attached. Okay. So the next one, we can go here and then one here. That's about evenly spaced. Most importantly is that you center the box within the panel so that when you close the box, the large, the panel, it will all fold and sit well with each other. go. Make sure these are nicely attached, firmly push. All right, so there it is. And then all we have to do is close it up. And then you have it. It closes up perfectly. Slap your lid on there. And then I have this awesome ribbon with, I believe it's Asian writing. I don't know what language though, I apologize. But I got some of this in Happy Mail, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to use it because it vibes with the theme. If I was extra clever, I could do a bow on top, but I don't know how to do that. So there you have it. A stepper box, really easy, made with cardstock and gel prints, a little glue, and patience. So I hope you try one, and if you do, tag me in it so I can see what you've done. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.